What's up guys, Shannon here at That Tile Chick. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you the 5 things I wish I knew before going to college. Alright guys, so today I am going to talk about and share with you the 5 things I wish I knew before going to college. Let me be clear that this video is not to sway anybody to go to college, not to go to college, or to do anything else besides just share the information and my experience of what I went through choosing my career field and my journey through college. Basically, if you're here, maybe you are a high school student that wants to go to college and you're trying to look up information and get educated on the process. Maybe you're a parent of a student who's going to college and you're trying to get educated on the process. So I hope that the information in this video helps at least somebody, but it's really just my own opinion and my experiences. I am fully aware that not everybody will have this same experience, and that's quite all right. But anyway, here's mine. Let me start out by saying my name's Shannon. I am That Tile Chick on Instagram and other social media accounts like TikTok, Facebook, etc. And then also on YouTube. So I would really appreciate it if you gave me a follow, subscribe to my channel, and like this video and share with anybody you might think could get some help out of it. So more about me is I graduated college with a bachelor's in accounting. I went on to work in accounting for a number of years, almost 10 years to be exact. And within those 10 years, or really 8 years, I took a lot of time to think about what my life is going to look like for the rest of my life. And I didn't really like where it was going, and I really didn't enjoy sitting at a desk all day, and I really didn't enjoy what I was doing. It just really wasn't fulfilling me in any capacity other than just waking up and punching a clock and getting a paycheck. So there's nothing wrong with that, so if you're somebody out there that's like, I have this great job, but I'm not happy. Like, you literally can only live one time. So, I am a full believer in following your dreams and going after what you want. So in 2017, me and my boyfriend packed up all of our stuff and we moved from New Jersey to Texas, and we started a general contracting business. So from 2017 to 2020, I was still working a full-time job. And getting a business off the ground is a whole other video, and it is a whole other discussion. But during that time, I was still working a full-time job while he was getting the business running. And then we scaled back from general construction to doing tile only. So hence That Tile Chick was born in August of 2020, when I left my 9-to-5 job of being an accountant and started doing tile full-time. So that's a little bit about me. If you do follow me already, or if you have just come across my page, you already know that I am a big believer in the trades because 1, sitting at a desk is like the new smoking, and 2, I can't sit still. So I love the trades because you get to learn hands-on experience, you get to build things, you get to use your brain in a different capacity rather than, sitting at a desk and being consolidated to a computer screen all day. And also, it is an extremely viable career, and it is extremely needed nowadays. So if you are considering that path, it's great. With that being said, I wanted to mention in here that there is so many avenues out there, and I wanted to share with you the possibility of Upstryve. And what they are is an online tutoring platform for people who are looking to pass their licensing exam for the trades. They are completely online, meaning you can, cater your schedule around basically anything that you're doing. So if you have a job or other responsibilities during the day, you can move your schedule around. What they do is they partner you up with a tutor who is within your respective field, and they are either currently in the trade or they are retired. So they have a lot of information to offer you, as well as they have an online bookstore where you can purchase the material as well. So it's a one-stop shop. Definitely give them check them out online. I will post a link below so you can check them out. And they also have a YouTube channel where you can get a ton more information. So without further ado, I'm going to begin with number 1 of my 5 things I wish I knew before going to college. So number 1 of the 5 things I wish I knew before I went to college is that my prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed to make rational decisions until the age of 24. That's crazy. So like, it's scientifically proven that you can't possibly make a decision that will affect the rest of your life and ultimately pick a job or career field where you're going to be in that job or career field for the next 40 years after you graduate college. Let alone by the time you get halfway through your college career, will even be interested in that anymore. It's crazy. So here's a fact that I picked up online. I'm not going to source anything or whatever, but if you did a quick Google search, you will find the same information, that it's pretty generic. But the prefrontal cortex, which is the front part of your brain, plays a central role in cognitive control functions. That is the process by which goals or plans influence behavior. It also supports flexible adaptive responses and complex goal-directed thought, thereby influencing attention, impulse inhibition, perspective memory, and cognitive flexibility. So that makes me think that like society, marketing and advertising, it's a thing, and at the end of the day, without getting too in detail about how universities use your money, yes, they are not for profit, but there is ways that they use money in order to get bigger or whatever. But it makes me think of, why do they prey on people who are unable to even make these choices in their life? Like, you need to pick what you're going to be for the rest of your life by the time you're like 19, 20 years old getting out of high school. Like, you don't even know you don't even know your girlfriend's last name or whatever. Like, it's just, for somebody to make that kind of decision that's going to impact the rest of their life, like, that's insane. But lo and behold, we do it, and I did it. And luckily I chose accounting, where like accounting is a good field. You always have a job, but I could have picked like being a history teacher or something like that. And I don't know, my life probably would have looked completely different, but it's just, in my opinion, I think that a lot of stuff is like shoved down people's throats, and you don't really have time to process it or even think. So by the time like the decisions you make at 19, and then by the time you're 24, it's like you're not going to want the same things. You grow so much, you're so impressionable within that age, that your whole mind is shaped completely different by the time you're 25. Anyway, so that was number 1. Number 2 is going to be, what is the real cost of college? That could be relative because there's so many things that go into that. But for numbers' sake, a 2-year college degree, an associate's degree, can run you from $20,000 to $25,000. It might be different if you go to a public versus a private school, but that's what you're looking at. And then that's for a 2-year degree. And then for a 4-year college, you're looking at least double that price. So $40,000 to $45,000. That's on the average scale. So those numbers, they're not including any living expenses while either living on campus or living in an apartment with other friends, or whatever your situation is. Food expenses, car expenses, or any books and other expenses that certain classes require. So it can go up from there, and like that is just your basic tuition price. So my experience when I was going to college, I didn't have any, family members to teach me or guide me. I was the first one in my family to go to college. I didn't have parents willing to help, willing to pay, or anything. I moved out of my house when I was 18 years old, and I was like, I have to go get a job full time and go to school at night. And that's what I did. It was extremely difficult, and while I realized that not everybody will be in that situation, it's just the matter of fact that it put me in a predicament where I had to make all these decisions at that crazy young age where I wasn't able to make those rational decisions. And I know for a fact, because there's 69% of all college students currently, probably more because that's as of 2019, of students who get college debt in order to go to college. So I'm not the only one who didn't have, family support to pay for their college. So I know for a fact there's others out there who struggle with these decisions and don't really know where to go. So if I can help you, that's wonderful. And I had to make all these decisions just basically on the fly. And I just thought at the time that that's what was best for me. Now looking back, for sure it wasn't, because the biggest problem was I didn't understand how money worked. And because of that, I made these decisions thinking, I'm going to make an investment in my future and yada, yada, yada. And lo and behold, it's truly not really an investment in my future. And if I would have known a little bit about how money worked, if high school taught you any of those practical things, then I would have been able to make a more informed decision there. So that's for number 2. How much does college really cost? It costs a lot of money, and it is not a joke. It's not something that you can just make the decision on the fly and just go with it thinking that, society tells me I need this education. That's great, but you definitely have to plan and go in with some sort of education and understand how it is you're going to obtain this degree and how long it's going to take you to pay off the debt if you incur any. So moving on to number 3. So number 3, we're going to talk about FAFSA and student aid and how I think that it doesn't help anybody. So I have my notes here, and this is right from the FAFSA website. Federal law assumes that the parents have primary responsibility for paying their children's college education. So they just automatically assume that your parents will pay for your college. The federal government provides grants and other forms of college support only when the parents are incapable of paying for college, not when the parents are unwilling to pay. But before I go off, let me finish. Parent income only affects financial aid for dependent students. For FAFSA, dependency is based on the federal government's criteria, not whether the parents claimed the student as a dependent on the last year's tax return. So FAFSA has their own determination whether you are dependent or not. Continuing on, parent income does not affect financial aid at all for independent students. So let's talk about the parameters that FAFSA puts in place to tell you if you are independent or dependent. To be an independent student, you must 1. Be 24 years or older. 2. Be married or separated. 3. Have children. 4. Be a veteran. 5. By the age of 13, have one or both parents deceased, have been in foster care or a ward of the state. 6. Be an emancipated minor or in legal guardianship of the court. 7. An unaccompanied minor who is homeless or at risk of being homeless. So basically, unless you fit those parameters, you cannot be claimed as an independent student. So whereas me, my parents didn't help me pay for rent, my parents didn't help me pay for college, my parents didn't help me pay for food, my parents didn't help me pay for anything, and I had to figure it out on my own. But their income still determined what kind of aid I got from the state. The 2021 FAFSA changes include the following. The income threshold for an automatic 0 expected family contribution, meaning that if you get a 0 expected family contribution, that you don't owe anything for college, it's 100% granted to you by the government. So that increased from $26,000, I guess in the previous years, to now $27,000 as of 2021. So basically, if your family unit makes more than $27,000 in a year, then you will not qualify for 100% grant from the state. Now, with that being said, they will probably supplement a lot of that if your parents make 30 to 40 grand, 40 to 50 grand. I don't know. I just know that I got very little. I got very, very little from the government. My parents probably would have been able to save for my college if they understood money, but my parents didn't understand how money worked, so I didn't understand how money worked. And I've learned all of this stuff over the last 10 years or so. And so like, that's why I'm just passing these little seeds of information on to you so that you can maybe just think a little bit smarter about your career path. So I also wrote in here, meaning in order to get college paid for the government, which I already talked about, your family unit needs to make $27,000 or less. So basically, the interesting thing here is that to be an independent student and get most of your college education paid for by the government, you have to be 24 years or older. I mean, that's interesting to me. So, just saying. But anyway, but yet they pressure everybody to go to college, you know, right when you get out of high school, and you can't make these decisions. So that wraps it up for number 3, and we are going to move into number 4. So number 4 is how student loans really work. So after you've gone to FAFSA and you've applied for your student aid, now the government is going to tell you, well, you know, you can't get all of your college education granted to you. So, but luckily for you, we have a loan program. So you can either get direct subsidized loan, which they offer to those students who don't fit into those parameters and their family makes too much money for them to get a grant to go to college. So you can get a direct subsidized loan, which means that the federal government during your forgiveness period, which is while you're in school, and any forbearance, that the government will pay for your interest. But there's a funny little thing here on their website that, of course, I fall into this parameter. If you received a direct subsidized loan from the government, which was dispersed between July 1st, 2012 and July 1st, 2014, you will be responsible for paying any interest that accrues during your grace period. So what they did essentially was they gave me a direct subsidized loan where the government was supposed to pay for it, but now they're saying that, oh, well, no, now we're gonna take that interest and capitalize and put it back onto your, you know, what you owe, essentially. So I don't know what the point of a direct subsidized loan is at that point or why they even gave it to me. Lo and behold, here we are. Anyway, so that's the direct subsidized loan that the government is supposed to pay your interest while you're in school or any forbearance periods. Whereas a unsubsidized loan is still a loan from the government, but instead you are fully responsible to pay the interest while in school and during any forbearance periods. Now, let me just also make this clear that if you do take out one of these loans, you definitely want to pay your interest. Because what happened to me was I didn't pay anything because I didn't fully understand what was happening and what the heck it was. I was just like, oh wow, they're going to give me a loan, sign. Yay, I can go to college and I can be successful now. And that's my fault. But I really didn't know much at the time. And I didn't really do much, you know, research or anything. So what happened is I had that grace period for being in college, so I didn't owe anything. And then like when I got out of college looking for a job, I put my loans on forbearance for like a very short period of time. And what they do is they still accrue that interest, and what they do, they take it and they post it onto your loan balance. Now your loan is already accruing interest, so basically they took that interest and they added it onto your loan balance, so now you're getting interest on top of your interest. So it's like forever compounding, and you feel like you'll never pay off your student loan debt. So don't be like me, and I just wish I knew this before signing this paper. So what I'm trying to say is just don't be like me and think a little bit, and also definitely explore all your avenues and talk to real life people who will tell you about their path and how they got to where they are, and you can envision your life in a certain way and obviously set yourself up for success. So that wraps up number 4. We are going to go into number 5 now. Okay, so number 5 is the last thing that I wish I knew before going to college, which was do not listen to what other people tell you to do, and follow your instinct and follow your heart. It's so basic and so common sense, but yet a lot of us do not do it. So I wanted to run through my actual numbers. Like, To date, I pulled all of my information from my loan and I still owe $40,600. The original amount that I borrowed was $41,500. So let's run you through what you would look like if you did what I did, right? So the average student loan debt, the median average student loan debt currently that people accumulate from a 4-year college degree is $30,000. So I'm going to go with that number, not really with my number, because I don't really know what I spent that extra $10,000 on. Have no clue. So we're going to do the $30,000 average, right? So here's me or you or whoever. You leave college happy. And then now, right, you start off with this debt. So today I did some research, and currently there's a lot of jobs being offered within the accounting degree field that don't require a bachelor's, but that wasn't the case when I got out of college. However, they are still paying the same amount of money that they paid when I got out of college. So the pay is kind of relative. When I got out of college, it was required. Number one requirement was to have a bachelor's degree in accounting to get the job, to even get the interview, really. And then you also needed to have 1 or 2 years of experience. And it's funny that I just spent $40,000 of my money that I didn't have, and then spent 4 years plus, because it took me a little bit longer because I failed some classes. So it took me a little bit longer. Then I had to go and gain experience because they don't think that college is experience. So now, because I couldn't get a legit job, I went and I said, okay, well, I can get a job with a temp agency, and I can do like smaller, contract jobs for different places, entry level. So I got a job making $16 an hour. So $16 an hour equates to about, at a full time, so like $16 an hour times 40 hours a week times 52 weeks in the year, you're looking at a salary of $30,720. $16 an hour, right? Now that's your salary. It doesn't include taxes that come out, which is typically, you can just estimate it's about 20% of the total amount. So for this number is $6,144. Now also, if you have a full-time job and you were like me, you pay for your own health insurance too. So your health insurance, depending on where you're at, I just estimated at $1,200 a year approximately. It's probably more now, but. So your taxes, health insurance, this is stuff that's going to come right out of your salary. You're never going to see that money. You're never going to be able to do anything with it. It just goes away. So now what you're looking at is you're still in the hole after your first year of working, $6,624. Now you're still in debt of this much. That's only if for that entire year, every penny that you made outside of taxes and health insurance, so every piece of this, so what this comes out to is $23,376. Every single cent of this goes to your loan. That means you didn't eat, you didn't buy any new clothes for yourself, you probably didn't shower because you don't live anywhere. I'm not really sure how you made it to work every day. I'm not sure how you bought clothes to now go to your professional job, which has a dress code, and 90% of the time it's required that you wear like a suit or some nice clothing. I'm not really sure how you afforded any of that, but it happened. So now, of course, I'm being extremely cynical here, but in reality, I'm gonna say that, not doing too well here. You're just not doing too hot because you literally can't afford your student loan. To put it into perspective, say for example, you took out a loan, a $30,000 loan to start a business. Basically, this would be like a failing business model. Imagine taking out a $40,000 loan for a business in 2016 and then come 2021, you're still not able to pay any of it back because you're not making any money. Like your business model is bankrupt. I don't know. It's just interesting. But anyway, so now I did a little bit more research and I'm like, okay, well, this video is about 5 things that I would, wish I knew before I went to college. So you're probably thinking, okay, well, Shannon, what should I do instead of going to college? Well, I'm not saying not to go to college. I'm just saying have a plan. So there's other jobs out there. Say you left college and went to work right away. Like today I found a job that's for an entry-level electrician for a large corporation. The requirements are that you have a high school diploma and that you're able to work nights and weekends and holidays, and that you're able to bend, lift, stretch, and be on your feet. Well, that's great. You want to know what? They keep saying that sitting is like the new smoking. So I don't know anybody who would want to sit anymore because I definitely don't want to die from lung cancer, but that's neither here nor there. But there's many reasons why you don't want a job sitting at a desk, and that's just one of them. But this particular company, they're paying their entry-level electricians, in which they are training on the job, $28 an hour. Imagine leaving high school and saying, I'm going to do this job. I'm going to make $30 an hour. I'm going to work nights and weekends. I'm going to work a full schedule. I'm going to save up all my money. And I'll be able to pay for my college in the next couple of years, or apply for some grant money from the federal government and be able to supplement my education. Or if you decide that you work for 4 years for this corporation and you're like, wow, I really love being an electrician, I want to go get licensed, or I want to start my own business. I think that that's just one path of choice. If you do choose this, if you have chosen this path like me, there's a lot of work that you have to do to get yourself out of that, and it's going to take me a number of years to do that. So, I'm just being very real with everybody here that there's other avenues, and you definitely should do everything you can to explore those other avenues. So depending on what you guys think about this video and the reactions I get, if you want me to go more into depth about money, about debt, about student loans, please drop a question below, drop a comment, tell me what you'd be interested in talking about. I can definitely go over everything with you because I'm in the process of trying to dig my way out of this hole, and it's going to take me quite a number of years. And I will gladly help anybody else that might be in the same predicament. If you are watching this video and you are interested in the trades and you want to know more about Upstryve, I have linked to them below and linked their YouTube below, so you can go on their YouTube and check them out and get some more in-depth information. Just a quick recap, they are an online tutoring platform that helps you pass your trade licensing exam. So basically, if you are an electrician in HVAC, plumbing, general contracting, etc., they have tutors to fit your needs, and everything's online, very convenient. They also have a bookstore where you can purchase materials to go along with your studies and help you pass. So yes, just to conclude my video, those are the 5 things that I wish I knew before going to college. And in making this video, really, there's so many more things I wish I knew before going to college. But I hope that I'm able to help somebody else just think a little bit more critically when they are choosing their path right out of high school. It can be a very scary time, and there's a lot of pressure on you to make a decision. What I want to mention is that because your prefrontal cortex isn't really developed until you're 24. That doesn't mean like sit in your basement and chill and like play video games. It just really means like that you should be out there trying as many things as possible. It is your time in life to try certain things, try different jobs, see what's out there, gain a lot of experience, talk to people who, you know, have been there, done that type of thing, and try to get hands-on experience in as many things as you possibly can, because there is no better time than when you are young and you are fresh and you are most impressionable. And at the end of the day, you have the choice to change your mind. It's never too late to start over. It's never too late to change your mind. So definitely think very critically and do your research. So if you made it this far, I truly appreciate you all. Again, you can find me on Instagram at That Tile Chick, Facebook, TikTok, and please subscribe and like this video and share with your friends if you think that they will get some value out of it. I love you all. Thanks for watching. See you next time.